welcome. Happy uh, March 6th of 2024 on a welcoming Wednesday. This is a very significant reading that I'm going to provide, and it's very significant on how it goes. When I think about having a friend who is, not the name about Leo, but if it was involved with a fire sign, it happens where you are deciding about what's happening, right? Because when you are lashing out between a Scorpio or whoever else and you're having a bad day, look at the positive, not the negative, okay? Because when you lash out with somebody and it gets angry, agitated, whatnot, it's very, pathetic, you know? And whether it seems to be good or bad, it has to make sense. So I'm going to be doing a tarot reading to see what's happening through a Leo situations because it happens, right? It happens that we have good days, bad days, but that's how it seems to be, you know. So in this kind of trio, this whole entire introduction that I'm trying to provide you is basically how it is, right? Because there is a way and there's a time frame and this is how it kind of is and this is how it's kind of how everything is. Okay, everything has to be all great and all neutral and everything else, but that's how it is. So you will see the cards eventually, um but it's just how it kind of goes, because in that way you look at it from a different way, a different perspective, into a interesting way of how it is, and this is how it goes. So this is going to be a reading for Leo, okay? And this is how it seems to be. So knowing that this is a very significant reading of how it goes, I'm doing a almost like a Celtic cross thing, but you will look at it as well. First core moon in Leo, be humble. So we're going to start that off as a wonderful feeling. You might have basically 12 zodiac signs in your picture, but maybe you have at least 9 zodiac signs in your picture. You could have earth signs, earth signs, and fire signs and water signs. So you could be doing that. But let's take a look. So as you can see, that if you're being motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic, you could be you have a good family life, financial, stability, like you have that, a desire to move on, you know, the need to make a decision, consider more playful attempts, too much going on at once. There are things that you must learn first, Leo, because you can't want to lash out with somebody, right? Lashing out is a very like very, very harsh way, right? And you're trying to not um be interesting about how that was, right? Because you think that everything seems to be all great and everything has to be all fine and everything has to be all great, but some things are not great, but you have to learn, right? You have to learn from your own studies. um you have to see it as a wonderful feeling. So I already shuffled all these cards, but this is how it is. So I'm doing a Celtic cross. So you have the Five of Wands that's reversed, Leo. You have the Ace of Swords that's reversed. You have the Four of Swords reversed. Ah, yeah, see. Then you have the Justice that's reversed. And then followed by, let me look over here at you'll see soon, is you have over here at the bottom of the Eight of Water here, you have the Knight of Swords that's reversed here. So you have no new beginning, nothing. Like you don't have a way of how you know um, have victory on your side. There is something that is very significant on how this reading goes. Okay, now I'm not gonna try to lash out at Leo. I'm not going to do that. But there are several things that you must learn first. And in order to understand that, you have to provide your own standards. If you look at the positive, you look at the positive. If you look at the negative and you lash out with somebody, and if you lash out at that person, it's going to be making that person feel like there's emotions that are going on. And if you're attacking that person with negativity and what have you, it will cause a commotion and a delay, you know. And there are lots of things that you're going to do. If you have obstacles, if you don't know which direction you're going to take, look at those. Look at those and think, well, what should I do now? Well, I'm just a reader because I'm telling you what's happening. The cards don't lie. No, they don't. But this is how it kind of is. It's the mobility of how to understand that. You read the fine print, you know what to do, but this is how it seems to be. So let's keep going. So you look at how this is, right? You think that, okay, well, now this is a no BS reading. No, it's not. But in a way, you have to figure this out. Okay? So I already shuffled these cards already, but let's see. Let's see what's the Five of Wands. Let's see about the Ace of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Justice, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so basically, I'm trying to figure this out one way or another. So we have the Nine of Wands that's reversed. Yeah, see, this is not how it goes. Next one, you have the Page of Pentacles that's upright. So you could be dealing with another Earth sign, so Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. This one over here, you have the world is completion because everything is going to be completed once everything is all good, right? Next one, you have the Page of Wands. That does represent Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And this one over here, you have the High Priestess that's reversed. Okay, so I'm going to look at that. So this is between a way of how it goes. This is not a manipulation. This is not how you have to remember about how everything is, right? You have to look at it from a different way, a different angle, a different altitude, whatever it is. But this is a very, very high frequently of how it is, right? This is not a way that considering about being, negative all of a sudden and you're lashing out with somebody and, it doesn't work that way, right? And it goes for all of you, whoever's watching this channel. So just pay attention about this reading, Leo. And if you're Leos out there, you have to pay attention whether what's going on, okay? So let's see what's opposite about the Nine of Wands. What's opposite about the Hierophant or the High Priestess? The Death card that represents Scorpio. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio in that situation. Maybe you could be that. And the world that's upright. So that represents that you have two completions, right? But you're actually following a Scorpio. Well, that's kind of explains it, isn't it? Yeah. Because you're trying to not lash out with a Scorpio, but then some way you could be lashing out, it's very significant on how this is. It's petrifying. I don't know what the word means, but you can look up on the internet. Think about how that is, right? Think about how everything is in the own way. This is how it's going to be, right? Creating your own significant way of how everything is. Because this is almost like a play-by-play scenario, play-by-play, you know, um, because when you're interacting and you're acting out and you're being the good person, but then you're being into a bad person, but you're trying to change that, right? Now the energies don't lie, no, they don't, because if you think about the positive, you think about the positive. If you think about the negative, now here's the way of about think about the negative. If you think about the negative, everything will crash down, right? You're going to get angry. You're going to lash out at that friend. You might even think that maybe it's your fault, not the other person. You know, you think about that way, right? Because, I'm not going to say this as to all my viewers out there, but sometimes whenever I get angry and I'm stuck in that negative feeling, I can't get out until it's my turn, right? To be positive as much as I can. Now, I'm not a Leo, no, but eventually everything has to be tuned in together, right? Everything has to be all great. But that's how it is, right? So we're almost done with this reading. So think about how this is going to be all great. It's the way of how you can understand that. It's the way of how you can be having conclusion, right? Because you look at how everything is. So what's between the middle of this way? And okay, so we have the devil that's reversed, means that you're not speaking any bad language. You're trying to stay positive as best you can. You have the moon energy that's reversed. Yeah, because you're trying to understand that point. And lastly, you have um, the high priestess that's reversed. Okay, so you have to remember that this is a almost significant way of how it goes, right? And whatever happens, happens, right? Because you see that. You see that as a turnaround point. You see it as a wonderful feeling. So let's see. Let's see what's opposite of the devil. What's opposite of the moon? What's opposite with the high priestess? And Knight Cups. So represents Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Next one. Oh wow, the Empress that's reversed. Check that out. And this one, the Four of Wands that's reversed. So you already know that you're not gonna get, you're not married. You're not. No, maybe you are married, but this is how it seems to be, right? So you understand how this is a conquest situation, right? And whether it is, whatever it does, right? Now you think, okay, well, let's see what's opposite with the Empress. What's opposite of the Four of Wands? The Four of Pentacles, that's reversed. Okay, right, we kind of are getting somewhere. And you have the Judgment. Okay, so you could be having an upcoming battle. Eventually how this is, it's very significant on how it goes, right? Um, this is a very significant reading. So it's obviously about the Five of Pentacles, not the Four of Pentacles, but the Five of Pentacles, I believe. Ah, the Hermit, that's upright. Okay, so you could be, maybe you could be lashing out at your partner. Maybe you could be lashing out at Scorpio, right? You're trying to not backstab. You're not trying to hurt yourself and, do whatever you want to do, right? This is just like a significant reading, okay? What's I say about the Judgment card? The Three of Air. Great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. I said that before. Because, the best thing that is, if you are doing what you can, you're actually, hurting, right? And if you are deciding about lashing out at a Scorpio and you did something wrong that you shouldn't have, maybe you try to not lash out, okay? Lashing out is a negative feeling, okay? And this is how it kind of is because this between a wonderful feeling and a wonderful act, it's very bad, you know? Acting is good and bad, right? Acting is good in one way, acting is bad in the other way. Where if you're acting good as a good person, that's fine. But if you're acting bad, you're acting as a bad person, you know, Leo? You have to look at from an inside out. That's how it seems to be, you know? You have to remember that yes, negatives are bad, but you have to consider your options. You know, that's how it is. So one more, and I'll show you with the oracle cards. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. That's all you have to do, okay? Secondly, is the death is I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. Yeah, so this is like an ending scenario, okay? And lastly, loneliness. I know that I'm never alone. Exactly. You know, so if you truly feel about how you're acting and how you're lashing out, please, believe me. If you're trying to not lash out at a Scorpio and getting all angry at him or whatever, and it's very bad. And lashing out is basically a pain in your butt. You know, this is how it was. This is how it all began. But necessarily, this is how it seems to be. So you know how it goes, you know how it seems to be, and that's how it is. So I hope that this reading will help you. I hope that you understand this, Leo, and I hope that you understand that loud and clear because it's the way of how it is. Okay, it's the way of how everything has to be possibilities. That's how it is. So you have to stay positive as much as you can. But if you lash out, then you know. So there you go. Have a wonderful and enjoy. Thank you very much. And thanks. Bye for now. Really. Have a good day. Bye.